In this video, I'm going to cover how to find the least common multiple. Now, as far as the least common multiple between numbers, this is going to be the smallest multiple in value that both numbers share. Now, a multiple is the result of multiplying a given number by an integer. When we think of the multiples of a number, we need to think about the numbers we get when multiplying that given number by integers. A simpler way to think about multiples is to think about skip counting. So all of the numbers something is going to hit when you count up by that number. Those are all going to be multiples. This will make a lot more sense as we go through our examples. Let's jump into our examples, starting with number 1, where we have 9 and 12. We're going to start by listing some multiples of both 9 and 12. Then we will look for common multiples, and specifically the least common multiple, also referred to as the LCM. Let's start with some multiples of 9, which are 9 times 1, which is 9, 9 times 2, is 18, 9 times 3 is 27, 9 times 4 is 36, and 9 times 5 is 45. So you can see that we just skip counted by 9 to list those multiples. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, so on and so forth. Now I stopped at 45 because multiples go on forever. They are endless. They are infinite. My suggestion is to list 4 or 5 multiples when looking for the least common multiple. So list 4 or 5 multiples for each number, look for any in common, and if you don't have any in common, you can always extend the multiples lists. Now let's list the first 5 multiples of 12. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times 4 is 48. And 12 times 5 is 60. So again, you can see that we skip counted there. We skip counted by 12. So 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, so on and so forth. Now that we have some multiples listed for both 9 and 12, we need to look for any common multiples, so any multiples that they share. And then specifically, we need to look for the least common multiple. Well, 36 is a common multiple, and it's going to be the least common multiple, so the smallest multiple in value that they share. So let's write that the LCM, which stands for least common multiple, is 36. So the least common multiple of 9 and 12 is 36. Now, one thing I do want to mention about common multiples is that they are infinite. Although we only have one common multiple in our lists as is, 36, we can always extend multiples lists. So we can always keep going to find more common multiples. Remember, multiples are endless, so that means common multiples are endless. So that's just something to think about when it comes to multiples. Let's move on to number 2, where we have 10 and 25. Let's start with some multiples of 10. So 10 times 1 is 10, 10 times 2 is 20, 10 times 3 is 30, 10 times 4 is 40, and then 10 times 5 is 50. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so on and so forth. Now let's list the first 5 multiples of 25. So 25 times 1 is 25, 25 times 2 is 50, 25 times 3 is 75, 25 times 4 is 100, and then 25 times 5 is 125. Now that we have some multiples listed, we can look for common multiples, and specifically the least common multiple. Well, 50 is a common multiple, and it happens to be the least common multiple. So the LCM is 50. The least common multiple of 10 and 25 is 50. So there you have it. There's how to find the least common multiple. I hope that helped.